Hey there! So today we're going to talk about new beginnings and really focus on that first sort of 15 minutes of class where it's really easy to get stuck creatively outside of doing the most common actions in the practice, cat-cow, child's pose, down dog, or maybe just starting with Surya A. I often find many students get a little frustrated in the beginning stages of how can we imprint where we're going to be going in class early on and still have it be a warm-up and not go straight into the standing section necessarily. And so let's get started today with the sequence that I love to share with people that has just a little bit of a different twist on the beginning. So grab a mat. You really won't need anything else other than that today. And we're going to start in Baddha Konasana. And so facing off to the side, which will be the easiest way to follow along here. You're going to sit yourself up onto the sit bones and then take your hands around the front of the shins. Let the feet press together, knees fall down, and lengthen from the top of your head and down to the tailbone. And allow yourself to just take a few breaths here to really arrive on your mat and commit to exploring whatever comes up over the next bit of time. Another breath in here. And exhale. Good. Allow those eyes to flutter open. Take your hand underneath that right knee, left hand behind. You're going to fold the right knee over the left and take a very gentle little twist, almost sitting side saddle, as you gaze over that left shoulder. Now rolling across the back of the sit bones, open the legs like a book. And then let the left knee fold over the right knee, take a little twist, look back over that right shoulder. Now keeping that right knee, the front knee, you're just going to swing around and shoot that left leg back. And this is going to become a very early pigeon. And so staying propped up on the fingertips, it's really just more about observation here. So exploring how it feels to kind of get into the hips really early on. We're not going to go too deep. Just a few breaths or so here, lifting through the chest, inhale. Now sitting onto the flesh of that right sit bone, swing that back leg all the way around. You're going to hold on to the shin and roll down onto your back. And so you may need to scoot a little forward as you roll down onto the spine. Draw that left knee into the chest and extend the right leg long against the mat. Nice grip here, take an inhale, take an exhale. Good, at the base of this next breath, flex that left foot, meet it with the right, inner knees together. Notice there's a 90-degree angle in the hips, the knees, and the ankles. Hands will go behind the knees. Arms stay straight as you energize the heels forward. The heels pull the hands just enough that the head begins to lift away from the mat. You're sort of hollowing out through the tummy area here, keeping hands both behind the knees. Kick through the heels, belly to spine. Scoop out through the navel. And now we'll take 3 rocks up and down. So you go back and forward, kind of keeping that same momentum, back and forward. And then that third round will come to Uttanasana, so give it a little extra, feet to earth, and then allow yourself to sort of find a very juicy, soft, melty sensation as you shift front to back in the feet, rolling around a bit, releasing the head. After a breath or so here, heel toe the feet towards each other, bend the knees, gather the left leg into your hand, so you're still using that same back left leg, and start to draw yourself up towards the standing staff position. Take a moment to draw the shoulders back, lift through the top of the head. Right hand can come to hip, left hand helps the knee open towards the side, external rotation. And then reach down for the ankle, take the heel to the inner thigh, and start with a really early tree pose. Now it's always okay to place that leg just onto the calf muscle if needed. And so wherever you're practicing your tree, take your hands to your heart center, inhale and exhale. Good, our next place is a low lunge. So that left knee will turn forward, bend that right leg, and then shoot the left leg back behind you, hands to earth, and find yourself in a low lunge. Everything now is, again, soft and easy, just moving currency through body. Good, and maybe dropping that back left knee for a moment. Inhale, lifting up to an Anjaneyasana. Big reaching breath up. And then as you exhale, let the pelvis drop just a little bit deeper. Hands can come around that front foot, tuck underneath that back toe, lift the knee. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, pull long over that front right leg. Knee can stay bent. Notice the back heel's lifted, and you're just finding a breath or two here. Micro bend into that front knee, hands flat. Big step back, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Rolling high up onto the toes. From the tailbone, vertebra by vertebra, take yourself into plank. Grip the ground with those fingertips. Scoop the pubic bone towards the navel. Engage lightly through the glutes and broaden across the chest. Beautiful. Knees to earth. Chest and chin to earth. Slow lower down. And then wiggle out onto the belly. Take one tiny little baby cobra. Hands away from earth, painting elbows towards each other. Base of this next breath, hands down. Keep the knees connected, half plank. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog again. This time we'll take that left leg to the top of that right thigh for a figure four stretch. And so figure four down dog, big, strong press back through that right hip, flare those left toes. Inhale and exhale. And then after a breath, gaze at your hands. That left foot's gonna step right outside the left hand. The right foot's gonna step outside the right hand, and you're gonna work yourself down to a Malasana squat. And so find the right distance for your feet. I kind of like to shift side to side. And then once I find that right dynamic in the feet, weight to the heels, tailbone down, crown of head to sky. The Hakini Mudra for me is my favorite. Fingertips together allows a lot of energy to lift up through the spine. You can even take a round of Kapalabhati breath here, short, sharp exhales through the nose as you take an inhale. Slowly exhale halfway out and begin. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Slow exhale out as you take your hands behind you. Sit yourself right back down to where we started in our Baddha Konasana. Take a clearing breath between sides. Inhale. Exhale. And start second side. This time we'll start with our left knee. Right hand holds behind the hip as you turn the left knee over the right. Little tiny twist over that right shoulder. Rolling across the back of those sit bones, open up the knees, and then drop the right knee on top of the left. Take a little pivot and look. Good, left leg stays forward this time as you turn and reach, coming towards that very early pigeon. So the observation of how does it feel to have a stretch through the front of the right hip, the external side of the left hip, just wiggling, breathing, observing, big breath in. Good, and then as you exhale, sit into that left hip, swing the right leg around. That's the leg we're gonna hold on to as we take ourselves onto our back. And so using the support of that leg to slowly roll down to the spine. Right knee to chest, left leg extends, flare the toes, take a breath. Good, and then flex through that right ankle, pull the knees towards each other, finding 90, 90, 90 in all joints of the legs, hands behind the knees. Push forward through the heels so the arms straighten. Feel that scoop and lift the chin towards the chest, hollowing out into the belly. Find a little core engagement here, and then we'll take only 2 rocks this time to Uttanasana. So you're gonna rock back, finding a little more momentum, maybe hovering on the sit bones, and then find your forward fold. Fingertips down, you may get a little bit more length behind your legs this second round. Moving through the feet, nice and easy. Good. And so now we're weight onto our left leg as we gather that right knee into our chest. So this is the leg that was behind in pigeon. Big inhale, big exhale. Good, now left hand to hip. Open up that right leg. Setting up for your tree practice, hand to ankle, taking it to inner thigh or maybe the calf. Soften through the low back. Tailbone down, navel in, hands to your heart center. Exhale, turn the knee forward, low lunges next. Bend that left leg, big strong leg back. Hands around the front of that foot, step forward if needed, and then find yourself in low lunge. Soften the right knee to the earth. Energize from the ground as you inhale, Anjaneyasana. Good, and then as you exhale, hands around that front left foot, tuck under the toes, lift and fold into your pyramid pose. Modify by keeping that right heel up, a bend in that left knee, and just take a breath or two here. Good, bend into the left knee to plant the hands flat, and then take a big step back towards your downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet, find engagement through the outer upper arm. And then pull the navel towards the spine as the hips reach to the upper corner of the room. Good, come high onto the toes, roll yourself forward towards your plank pose. And your choice if you want to drop the knees or just lower to your belly, engage as you take it to the earth, nice and slow, controlled. Good, from this position, maybe a more active cobra, toenails to earth, hands lift, and you find just a little more extension into the spine. Good, from this position, toes tucked, knees lift, scoop everything off the ground, press to plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Finding our figure four down dog with that right leg again, take that outer ankle to the top of the thigh and press back. It's an interesting sensation here, much stronger in that left leg, but opening through that outer right hip. Look forward, step that right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot to the outside of the left hand, and then start to wiggle yourself down towards your Malasana. Once you find yourself in that position, take your elbows to the inner knees, find the position of the hands that best suits you. And either just stay here and breathe, or maybe take another round of Kapalabhati. If you're practicing that, take an inhale through the nose. Exhale halfway out. And begin 20 rounds. Hold at the top of the breath. Exhale slowly. And then hands will come behind the hips, settling yourself back down into that Baddha Konasana shape again. All right, adding on the second time. Big inhale. Big exhale, same beginning. Take that right knee, fold it over the left, look back over that left shoulder. Roll across the back of the sit bones, open through the knees. Little side saddle twist as you look over the right. Okay, that right leg stays forward, left leg shoots back towards your pigeon pose. You might find a little bit more alignment this time, but you're still staying lifted. Top of that foot pushes down. Nice, big, strong lift through the chest. Good, sit into that outer right hip, swing that left leg around, holding onto the shin, guide yourself down onto your back, vertebra by vertebra. Once that left knee comes in, extend that right leg forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Meet in that 90-degree angle, flex the heels, push forward, let the torso curl in. Chin to chest, navel to spine, one rock this time, strong rock back. Take it all the way up and fold over your legs. Good, our right leg is the foundation leg, our left leg is lifting, so heel toe closer. Gather that leg as you lift, standing staff. Good, this time we'll take it to a figure four Utkatasana, so turn that leg out, place the outer ankle on top of that right thigh, and then inhale as you sit back into that right leg, finding your figure four position. Good, strong energy, back into the heel, navel in, sink a little bit deeper. Low lunges next, come up and off. Big, powerful reach with that leg, and then find yourself in low lunge. Breath in, breath out. Drop that knee, scoop energy up as you inhale. And as you exhale, hands down, toes tuck, fold over the leg. Good, bend the knees so your hands can find the mat, and then big step back, downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet here, take a breath, organize the spine. And then when you're ready, either take a modified vinyasa, or this time maybe coming through a full up dog, chaturanga. So bending through the elbows, chaturanga, flip the feet, open up through the chest. Find that position for your back, inhale. Now pull from the core, up and back, downward facing dog. So that left leg is the leg that moves into the figure four down dog. Press back through the hips. Look forward through the hands, step to the outside.
Sink the hips, Malasana. Few rounds of breath, or maybe your third round of Kapalabhati. I'll just take a few deep inhales here. And exhales. Good, and at the base of your next breath, fingertips behind the hips, settle yourself back down for the left side. Big breath in, big breath out. Good, now take that left leg, fold it over the right, take a little pivot. Come across the sit bones, open the knees, same thing. Just creating a little fluidity in the body. The left leg stays forward, right leg goes back. Top of foot to earth, use your fingertips, open up through the chest, inhale. Good, now sit into that left hip, swing the right leg around, hold on to the shin, and then organize slowly as you roll down through the body. Right knee to chest, left leg extends. Meet everything together, hands behind the knees, push forward through the heels, strong elbows. Push enough that you begin to feel the rise of the chest, look down towards the navel, scoop one rock to forward fold, and there you are. At this point, maybe the toes are touching, heels slightly apart, finding more length behind the leg. Now it's our right leg that lifts, so again, bend the knees, gather that right shin in, and guide yourself up slowly. Figure four, Utkatasana, will turn that leg out, place the outer ankle on top of the thigh. Sit the pelvis back, biceps along ears. Trying not to sink the chest too much here, but really using that left leg. Good, big breath in, big breath out. Low lunges next, lift up to shoot back, hands around that front foot. Find the right positioning for your feet. Good, and then drop that right knee down. Gather energy from the earth as you inhale, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, hands to earth, tuck the toes, pyramid fold. Look forward, micro bend the knee, hands to earth. Big step back, downward facing dog. Shake it out, wiggle your shoulders, your feet, and then find a static position for a breath or two, really wrapping those biceps, reaching tall through the tailbone. Good, and then come high to the toes, roll forward to your plank pose, and again, your choice, modified or full vinyasa. As you come through the chaturanga, nice control. As you open up through your chest, little bend in those elbows, length through the crown of your head, and then pull the hips up and back, downward facing dog. The right knee, the right leg is the leg that comes into our figure four. Press back. Look forward towards our hand, press and step. Malasana. Good. So you've done that sequence twice on each side, right to left. And now we're just going to transition into the standing section. So after your Malasana, go ahead and take yourself back down to your Baddha Konasana. And the theme of this class is always kind of coming back to this position. So we'll start here again, taking one breath in. And then just like we've been doing, take that right knee, fold it over the left. Little pivot back. Spin across the back of the sit bones, left knee over, little look back. But this time, we're going to come into a half Virasana. So this left leg on top, we're going to spin around and place right to the outside of that left hip. Sort of internal rotation. The sole of the foot is up and next to that outer left hip. The right leg is going to lift and stamp itself down as the hands reach around the front of the shin to elevate length through the spine. Good. I'm going to turn back to the side here. And so with one leg in this sort of half of Virasana, both sit bones to earth. If you have a hard time getting your sit bones down, this would be a good spot for a block or maybe a book you have at home that you can help the floor come to you. After an inhale here, you can stay if this is challenging enough, or you can begin to work yourself back towards a little quad opener, kind of a recline or Supta Virasana. I like to just make my way down nice and slowly. You can even just find your palms, come down onto your elbow points. I like to lift the hips, scoop the tailbone, and then settle back down. I'm keeping the chest elevated, not reclining all the way as of yet. If you felt like you wanted to, you could absolutely extend that leg out and just start to experience the stretch on the front of that top left thigh. Good, after a breath or so here, if the leg is straightened, re-bend, and then mindfully gather yourself up from the ground, pressing. Now our transition, our right leg is already forward, and so we're going to use the strength of our belly and our hands to lift up, and then shoot that left leg back, low lunge. Yeah. We'll spin that left heel down, heel to arch alignment, and then spin ourselves all the way up into our Virabhadrasana 2. Settle the shoulder, find that alignment, heel to arch, gaze over the front finger. Good, and then begin to lengthen through that front leg. Sweep your right arm forward as your left arm comes over ear, and move towards sort of just a half triangle. So you're just using your core and your legs to really hold you here. Pull the quadricep up. Reach forward through that right hand, which will pivot the rib cage up and lengthen. Maybe even gaze up or towards that arm. Base of this next breath, settle back down towards your warrior position, and then windmill your hands down around that front foot. Pivot all the way to the outer edge of your left foot. Step your right foot in front, take your arms up towards the sky, cross-legged Vashisthasana. One time press back, hand behind low spine, bend the knees. And then as you pivot forward, take yourself towards your plank pose again. And move through your rest, vinyasa. Maybe this is where you just need a little child's pose. We'll meet in downward dog in just a breath or so. So if you're moving through a vinyasa, you've done a chaturanga, up dog. Take one more breath if you're here in child's pose, and then when you're ready, go ahead and lift yourself all the way up and find your downward facing dog. Good. At the bottom of this next breath, it's that left leg that starts. Figure 4 down dog. Look at your hands, step up Malasana, one foot after the next. Settle the pelvis, elbows to inner knees, and breathe. Good, hands behind us, and we'll come settle back to that starting position. Last thing on the left side. Inhale and exhale. And as we begin, right hand is a little kickstand, left knee folds over, look back. Roll across the back of the sit bones, open the knees. Half Virasana, so the top leg, holding onto the ankle, will move back. So you can see better on this side, the sole of the foot is up. And then I'm going to stamp or place that left foot down. And so we really are aiming to have both sit points rooted to the earth. I like to wrap my inner elbow around the knee to find lift and length through my spine. But you can always test that by taking your arms away from the leg. Nice strong energy through the top of the toes of this foot. And then up to you, staying here if you feel this enough in your knee, if there's any sensitivity there, or if you enjoy the sensation of coming back, you can start to guide yourself slowly down, taking it just sort of 1 inch at a time. Once you get there, lift, scoop, drop, and then really present the chest. So try not to collapse, but really organize the energy here. Extend through that left leg if needed, and just take a moment to allow the body to absorb the sensation. Good. Bottom of this next breath, coming up, stamp that foot, find your hands, pressing up, and then we'll take our hands forward. Strong lift of our sort of pelvic floor leg area. Hands come forward, big step back with the right leg, you're in low lunge. Spin the heel down, find that heel to arch alignment, and then pivot yourself up towards your warrior position. So take a moment to feel this out. Heel to arch, find the shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Good, and then begin to straighten through that front leg. Flip the left hand up. Sweep the left hand forward as the right arm comes alongside the ear. And so you're relying really on your obliques to do this triangle action for you. Gaze can be directly forward or more north, looking up. After a breath or so here, you'll really feel that in your side waist. You can slice back towards your warrior position. And then windmill your hands down around that front foot. Plant that right hand. Keep pivoting to the outer edge of the right foot. Left foot will cross in front of the right leg, cross-legged side plank. Press the knees down. Hand comes behind the low back. Strong right arm. Pivot yourself all the way up and over, plank pose. You can go through another vinyasa yet again, or maybe you'll meet here in wide-legged child's pose. Toes together, forehead to earth. Big breath in, big breath out. And then from here, go ahead and walk yourself up onto your shins. So at this point, it'd be a really great place to add on now a standing section. And if you just did that practice with me, you'll feel how you feel warm and heated from the inside, and all those external parts of your legs and belly are engaged. And so hopefully you enjoyed the beginning of that little sequence, and I hope you have fun playing with it.